Middle East was a major star for trade with Hong Kong, with exports rising 70% in the first quarter. But what's it going to be like for the rest of the year? With us is Stephen Wong. He's the Regional Director for the HKTDC for the Middle East and Africa. Stephen, what do you see for the rest of the year?
Well, if you look at the first 4 months of this year, the GCC countries have done exceedingly well in terms of Hong Kong export. For example, in the case of the UAE, Hong Kong registered some 23% of increase of domestic export to the UAE. But then if you look at the whole region as a whole, it's not really all the countries are performing that well. For example, in the case of the export to Syria, it's down by almost 50%. And to Yemen, some 20%. In the case of export to Saudi Arabia and the UAE, in the case of the high-ticket items, for example, jewelry and watches, the export went up by some 150% to Saudi Arabia and 20% to the UAE. So these are very much contingent upon the tourism traffic and also oil prices and, more importantly, the political developments in these countries.
So many ifs and buts where it comes to forecasting for the rest of the year and really looking at some of the bigger industries, if you like. I believe that where it comes to construction, for example, for development, you've been sending us certainly reports here at the research department at the Hong Kong TDC that really talk about how these are really moving along very rapidly.
Well, the real estate activities in Dubai has gone up by some 21% last year. But that doesn't mean that they will have an immediate demand for real estate in both commercial or residential sectors. In fact, there is a glut in the market. As far as Hong Kong companies are concerned, they're looking at other markets within the Gulf region. For example, in Qatar, which has got the right to run the 2022 football. So what we did was we are helping Hong Kong companies to connect with the major infrastructure projects operators in the region through the trade shows there. And if you look at the performance of some of the Hong Kong companies in the region, they are mostly concentrating on the smaller projects. For example, water systems, port development, down to glass curtain walls for the buildings, parking systems, and a host of other infrastructure jobs which Hong Kong companies can readily handle. In the past, I think several of them have done exceedingly well in those areas.
And how do you get the sort of opportunities that you're talking about here for the sort of smaller jobs, but also the most lucrative ones that are on offer?
Well, the TDC regularly organize incoming groups to Hong Kong. We also organize periodically groups going to that part of the world to attend the trade shows. There are two major infrastructure-related trade shows, the Big Five and Cityscape, which Hong Kong companies can consider joining.